No, yeah, please do.
So good. Oh, so good.
Oh my god.
Oh, slightly spicy. Texture's amazing. Wow. You gotta get that juice as well.
Okay, so we have arrived at our destination.
Yes.
I told you I have a little surprise planned for you.
Yeah, this is not what I expected.
What were you expecting, sir?
The unexpected.
The unexpected, as you should. Joseph, how often do you eat oysters?
Oysters are super seasonal, so
Yeah.
I think I don't eat a lot, but now that it's getting cold, I'm probably gonna eat a lot.
Actually, I've had one oyster thing here in Korea.
Okay.
굴 jjampong. Have you ever had that? It's like jjampong.
I know, 알지.
There's a lot of different ways to eat 굴 here in Korea, but we're gonna have 굴전도 있고.
So I've only ever had two types of oysters in Korea, which is 볶음굴, which is the really big ones, and then I've had the normal one.
무슨 탕도 나와요? 아, 미역국.
와, 미역국.
아니면 그냥 미소국인가?
Whose birthday is it? 생일이에요?
그 생일 있잖아요.
네.
생일. 다 알구나.
Whoa! Jeez Louise. This is a massive amount. Like, while we were there, this whole tray of... They look like South Pacific oysters, I would say. But yeah, this one, like, it feels really heavy.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Let's feel like a
my
good
God.
oyster.
What about it?
It's very heavy.
Yeah. So that's a good thing.
It's quite deep.
Yeah.
So you know, like the shell to meat ratio is going to be nice.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if they're like, we'll see when it opens up how thick the shell is. But it also feels really not brittle. If it's really brittle, it means that when the oyster is growing, it hasn't had enough nutrients, so the shell is really weak. And that's like a sign of like not a good oyster. This is like what they call tintin. This is really, really hard.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really delicious. Well, I'm going to put that in.
So that
I want to get
on time.
Yeah.
And
As
it looks,
chefs, we want to make sure our stuff's cooked on time.
so there's that. Also, it looks like we're
I
going to
can
be
teach you
doing
how-
this ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You're good at this, right?
This will be a learning experience. What do we got? We got some tofu pansan. We have some chojang sauce, which is my favorite of the Korean bread dipping sauces.
Really?
Gochujang and vinegar, which is a really good time.
It's like it's slightly sweet, right?
Yeah.
That's
That
pretty
was the
delicious.
most chef way of eating a little bit of sauce.
Yeah, I know, like when you're a chef, you normally like put like that, a little bit like that. Such a chef thing to do.
You're so cool.
Wow, we'll teach you all the tricks. But hang out with me more often. I've got
like-
more tricks.
So if we look at the menu, so here we have the 굴찜, and I think we ordered 중자, so we ordered
Yeah.
like the middle one. I'm trying to see what else they have.
Well,
전복 문어탕도 있고.
I think we have enough food. Let's get some alcohol.
Oh, alcohol, yeah.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
life is better with alcohol. So
Agreed.
we said that we talked about 복분자, so let's get 복분자. And we have makgeolli left.
뭐가?
세 번, 네 번째.
아까, that's what you said. Okay, let's try it.
Yeah, let's get one 복분자.
자,
사장님, 복분자 하나 주세요.
네, 감사합니다. 잘
You know what 복분자 is good for, right?
Oh, is this like the man thing?
It's the man thing.
Endurance?
It's the man thing.
Yeah, this is when all the ajushis are like, "Oh, 남자
It's like,
됐어."
상남자야. Can you smell this? Smell this.
I guess, yeah. The
Wow.
concept. Whoa.
Oh, 진짜.
감사합니다. Whoa, whoa, okay, there's so many things happening right now.
오, 매생이. 오, 매생이.
This looks insane. 굴떡국. I've never heard of anything like that before.
Yeah. And I love just the amount of different seaweeds Korea has. Like this one is 매생이, so it's going to make it like super slippery, even more than like miyeokguk.
Yeah.
Growing up in Australia, looking at something that when it goes like that,
Yeah. You're like, what is
but
this?
then I know how delicious it is.
Right.
So it's like, so I'm just gonna start without you.
No, yeah, please do. Is it?
Sorry, I shouldn't swear.
Korean food in general has a lot of interesting textures associated with it. It's either slippery, super chewy, and so I get a lot of comments from followers being like, oh, I just don't know if I could do it with the texture.
Yeah.
The taste supersedes the texture, you know what I mean?
Well, I think, like, normally they think because of the texture is weird, the taste is not gonna be there. You should at least just give it a try. How good is it, right?
So
like,
good.
And it's kind of like those horror movies you see where it's like glooping down, but it's like, Oh, so good.
It's so different from any other tteokguk I've had.
Yeah.
If you like seafood, if you've had an oyster before and you're like, I remember liking it, and if you want to try something really new and novel, come on, like come try new things. Like,
Yeah. But this is pretty cool as well. Like, if you like oysters, you came here. Like, you would never get anything like this in anywhere else.
exactly.
So then
No one else is preparing oysters.
Yeah,
like
and then
this,
you can take that recipe back all that way, and then like this is such a good little dinner party oyster.
Yeah.
You can make them in advance. Like I made these before for friends.
You made gurjeon or just jeon?
Gurjeon.
Really?
Gurjeon, yeah. In Gwangju, like they're very famous for chon. So you make like a selection of different chons,
You're insane.
and then it's such a good dinner party snack that you can make it and then just have it out, and then while you're entertaining guests, and it's great with alcohol. Speaking
of alcohol.
yes.
Oh. Oh my god.
Oh,
This is really good.
oh my days.
Oh my days.
That's insane.
Wait, are we doing the thing with the makgeolli that you mentioned before?
We'll give this little. Let's give this
A little
baby
some more
the
love.
love and attention it needs.
Okay, alcohol in a second. 사장님, 혹시 앞치마 있으세요? 네, 감사합니다. 네, 감사합니다.
배웠어요?
아니요, 그냥 just to prepare in advance. One
I feel like I'm
second.
back at work. Am I going back in the restaurant? This
Anyway,
oyster.
gurjeon.
Gurjeon, slightly spicy. Texture's amazing. It is predominantly egg, but it's not really eggy.
And I was gonna say, like, sometimes you get chon and it can be like, oh, 아이고. Sometimes they can dilute the taste of the type of jeon with the egg or the flour.
Yeah.
But this, the oyster flavor is like very prominent.
About anything. Whoa. Crazy. Look at that. Look at the steam coming off that.
This is actually insane.
This is
I've never experienced
crazy.
anything like this before.
Oh, you need the glove, sorry. I'm like the
Oh,
chef.
he's like, oh, I'm a chef. I don't need a glove. My hands have no nerve endings left in them. Like,
Oh, sorry, I couldn't wait.
did you really just? 맛있어요?
That, you gotta get that juice as well. So that juice is forming. It's like a little.
Don't they call it? It's not the brine. The liquor. Don't they call it the liquor? The oyster liquor.
Yeah. Do you like oysters? I didn't even ask.
I do love oysters. Except I historically have only ever had raw oysters. Wow, and it just comes right off. They're so clean too.
This is how the Arjoshis do it in the sojips with their hands. And drink over several hours, and because it's just staying nice and warm, it's still just going to be like.
That's a good point.
Because these are all really hot, so every bite, you're just getting these really hot, intense oysters.
Right.
It's very cool. I'll shut up and I'll pour the alcohol.
So this is my men's endurance
Yeah.
drink that I'm
There's
doing.
been a couple notes.
Okay. 짠. 무슨 맛일까?
It's a good combo, actually.
Oh, it's really good.
Oh, what are you talking about? This is like.
Whoa, I've never had anything like this before.
You never had 복분자?
I don't think so.
This is like smooth. You okay?
Okay, I think what's happening right now is just because it's heroisol, like
Yeah,
because it's
heroisol.
new. I'm getting adjusted to
Right.
it. Is it plum or
No, it's a type of raspberry. It's a native raspberry. It comes out in summer. Very popular.
I'm into it.
You like it? This is really your first time?
Oh, I do. I think so. Yeah. No, but I.
This has like really good with the oysters. Like this is like I would say the OG Western stamina food, right? To get your libido going. They say oysters.
Oh, yeah,
and then you're using the Korean
Aphrodisiac, that's the word.
aphrodisiac mixed
Oysters.
with a bit of stamina food.
Yeah.
You're-
What are we? What are we doing after? People get a little nervous to eat oysters, mainly because there's so many raw options that it's like if you get a bad one, then like what could happen. But this, once you steam them and you're cooking them like this, it's the same thing as clams or mussels. You're doing all the same
as long
thing.
as you heat it, that's fine. Of course, very nice, really cool. And panchan as well.
That people, because they take so many smoke breaks, that people can literally just get up from their tables, leave, go outside and smoke, and everyone just trusts that they'll just come back and finish their meal. That thing could never happen in America. People think you're dining and dashing real quick.
I think you're out of here.
There's not nearly enough communal trust that you'll come back and finish the meal. Okay, so it's half makgeolli, half.
There's a lot of controversy over whether it's a half and half or a 230 blend.
Well, it looks beautiful for what it's worth.
And this is what we call the pink.
It looks like goku.
This is.
I'm so into this.
This is Yannick taught me this. Shout out to Yannick.
Shout out to Yannick. Thanks, Yannick. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You just smash that all day.
That's way more by groove.
That was from this, Sean. Whew. Wow, that's beautiful.
I'm not over how huge these oysters are, though. Like, they're so big. They're so clean.
What I like about this is it's like a tasting menu of oysters, right? Mm-hmm. You have oysters in a soup, you have it in a chon, you have it steamed. If I was recommending people to come to Korea, I would say go to a place like this. This is where you're going to get real, authentic Korean food. Like this fine dining is cool, but like I would rather go send people to a place like this.
Another reason why I love visiting Korea is because I feel like depending on what season it is in Korea, there's different types of things to do, right? Like if you come in the spring, you do the cherry blossoms. Or if you come during the summer, then there's all this sort of like water festivals. Yeah. During the fall, there's what is it, kimjang? Kimchi making festival. Do you do that ever?
We like to make chang. It's a 1-year process and it rolls around the season. To make kimchi, it's a 1-year process. So in winter, it's the perfect time because it gets cold, that the winter breeze comes over, the cabbages crisp up, and that's the perfect time to make cabbage, to make the kimchi. And at that time, at the end of the night as well, like you make the kimchi all day, and then at the end of the thing, you eat like bossam, which is like freshly boiled pork with the kimchi, or even these oysters would be just, because you want to taste the stuff that you've just made, right?
Sure, yeah.
So you want to check if your batch is okay, so it's very traditional. And I think like eating these oysters would be good, but it's not long now. Should we do it together?
Kimjang? Oh my god, I'm so down.
It is hard work.
I've done it in America actually before.
You've done it in America? They have kimjang in America?
My friend Peter is Korean American, lives in Chicago, and every kimjang day, he gets like 30 friends together and has a kimjang party in his backyard.
Ooh,
and
cheeky.
So like everyone comes and he sets up like all these different stations.
Yeah.
And everyone comes and he gives them like a little index card that has their instructions on it. So some people are cutting the cabbage and then some people are making the jang. 30 to 40 people who know absolutely nothing about kimchi to come together and try kimjang.
Wow.
And it's really cool. Like
That's
in
awesome.
the back of his apartment in Chicago.
That's
like, isn't that
perfect.
sick?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is really, the things that I recommend to people is like doing the kimjang, or trying these foods in context. Like these foods of like boiling bossam is really nice, but bossam after working all day to make kimjang, and you're like your arms are tired and you just want this hot pork and the kimchi, and you're like, they have a makgeolli afterwards, and that makgeolli and that food afterwards, my god, it is the best food you can eat.
Of course.
It is so nice. So trying this, but also trying the food in context, because it's like, anyway, the drunken ramblings of
the drunken ramblings of old, you know.
And I think this is some of the best food I like to recommend to people. So food that you can just have in the middle. You can drink with friends.
Yeah.
You can talk about life. And then like halfway through, you can just like stop again and pick up an oyster.
100%.
And then just eat that oyster and like bag. There's like a couple of hours of just hanging out. Where it's like, if you go to a restaurant, then you're like, you got the plate, and then like some waiter's coming over,
checking on
clearing your plates,
clearing and brushing you.
I don't need someone to pour this alcohol, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's such a nice way to eat, I think.
Well, Korea also really refined the idea of like heating your food as you eat. Like whether your food comes in a torsot or there's literally a fire in the middle of the plate, like no one is rushing you.
Yeah.
And that's why I think like I've come to love alcohol and eating and drinking at the same time, because in America at least, drinking is very much a binge culture in the sense that it's too expensive to go out and drink with your friends. If you go to a bar or if you go to a restaurant, cocktails are too expensive.
Yeah.
So what everyone does is they just buy vodka at home. Everyone takes like 7 shots before they go out. And then you're drunk at the restaurant. You probably aren't feeling great. Like here, it's this sort of like slow and steady approach to eating and drinking with friends over a long period of time. And I just resonate with that so much more as like a, you know, from a cultural perspective.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. Well, I think that was a word in Korean, judo. The double hand, the going lower, the holding someone's glass. Growing up in Australia, like I always say that there's more culture in yogurt to turn around, and that's so cool to come and learn and do and
of course
appreciate. And that's why I love living in Korea, because it's like I can see why it can be sometimes like kind of 답답하다. It can be quite restricting for people, but I really like the fact that you have all these cultural norms, and it's really cool to learn and be part of.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
Cheers to this new combination.
Period.
Yeah.